Ratmir is 33 years old. He has an 11-year-old daughter named Dasha. He's been to prison twice, not for a crime, for refusing to pay child support, because he's convinced Dasha is not his daughter. And today he will finally find out the truth. But the truth will turn out to be more complicated than he ever imagined. This is Russian television, where people come to untangle years of pain. With screaming, with accusations, and with a DNA test that changes everything. Today in the studio, Ratmir, 33 years old, jailed twice for unpaid child support, convinced he was deceived. Irina, his ex-wife, speaks slowly, looks strange. The studio starts wondering, is she drunk? Anna, Ratmir's new wife, pregnant, wants Irina out of their lives for good. Tatiana, Ratmir's mother, knows more than she's saying. And Uliana, a guest who walks into the studio with a photograph. And that photograph will explain everything.
Ratmir and Irina lived together for 3 years before Dasha was born.
They shared a bed. He picked them up from the hospital. He washed diapers himself. He cooked, because Irina did nothing. Then they got married. He legally adopted Dasha, gave her his last name, and everything was fine. For 6 months. Then the entire village started talking that Dasha wasn't his. Ratmir never caught Irina cheating, but the rumors never stopped. She doesn't look like me, he says. The studio erupts. People shout, she looks just like her mother. Irina walks into the studio, and something is immediately off. Her speech is slow. Her eyes are unfocused. The host asks directly, is she on something? Irina denies it. She says this is the first time she's heard Ratmir claim Dasha isn't his. She says he was the one cheating. She caught him at home with another woman. Ratmir denies everything. Irina says he simply doesn't want to pay child support. The debt has piled up to a serious amount. Tatiana walks into the studio, Ratmir's mother. She turns straight to Irina. You're hungover. Then she reveals something nobody expected. She was the one who arranged Irina's apartment. She was the one who picked Irina up from the hospital. She was the one who pushed her son to marry Irina and put Dasha on his documents. Because Ratmir was completely, blindly in love with Irina. And then Tatiana adds, Irina has had her parental rights revoked twice. On screen, Irina's apartment. She shows off expensive clothes and shoes for Dasha. Says only the best for her daughter. But Irina herself owns only one pair of pants and a pair of tights. Nothing else. And the neighbors tell a different story. Constant drinking, screaming, strangers coming and going. Dasha walking the village alone at night. Dasha has already been taken to a shelter once. A local deputy in the audience screams at Ratmir. She's defending Irina. Why is everyone attacking this young woman? Another expert turns on Ratmir. He's the one who abandoned Irina. He's the reason she fell apart. Even if Dasha isn't his biologically, he gave her his name. He is responsible. The audience shouts something else entirely. Take the girl yourself. Then Irina will be the one paying child support. But Irina won't give up her daughter and says nothing. Anna walks into the studio, Ratmir's new wife. She's pregnant. She looks at Irina and says, leave us alone. The host asks point blank, if the DNA test shows Dasha is Ratmir's daughter, is Anna ready to take her into the family? Anna says, no. The studio explodes. And then comes another detail. Anna has a daughter from her first marriage, who goes to the same class as Dasha. And Ratmir is ready to adopt Anna's daughter. But not Dasha. The studio cannot follow this logic. Uliana walks into the studio. She says she knows who Dasha's real father is, and she pulls out a photograph. Her grandfather and her mother at Dasha's age. The resemblance is striking. Uliana explains her grandfather was a lonely widower. He was 70 years old. Irina used to come to his place to clean, and they would drink together. Uliana saw Irina there herself. And her grandfather, before he died, admitted he had a child. The studio goes silent. Tatiana says, the whole village knew this story. The lawyer in the studio explains it, and clearly. Even if the test proves Ratmir is not the biological father, he is still legally required to pay child support because he adopted Dasha voluntarily. Ratmir screams, "He was deceived! Someone else's child was pushed onto him!" The expert responds, "For not listening to his mother." The moment everyone came for. Ratmir is nervous. He stares at the envelope. The result? Ratmir is not the biological father of Daria. The studio, still on Irina's side. Ratmir sits with his head down. He still has to pay child support. The host asks Irina, is she ready to get treatment for her alcoholism? "I don't have a problem," she says. The audience asks Ratmir, will he take Dasha in? "Take her yourselves and raise her," he shouts. And in the middle of all the screaming and accusations, nobody is talking about Dasha herself. An 11-year-old girl, a mother who won't admit she has a problem, a father who refuses to have anything to do with her, and an entire village that knew the truth and stayed silent for 10 years. Ratmir proved he's not the father, but it didn't make things easier for anyone, least of all, Dasha.